Edge, Wednesday, March the 8th. My name is Sean Carrier. Thank you for being with us. Huge card in the NBA tonight. More importantly, a card we absolutely love. We're finding edges all over the place in tonight's games. So be sure to check out our Twitter page. All of our picks are going to get released there, and we've got a bunch of gems today. So don't miss the Twitter page at bet_edge. Check the description below for a link to the page there. All of our picks get posted there, videos, all of our betting tools, all absolutely free. So don't forget to follow us there on Twitter at bet_edge. Got a bunch of gems tonight. We're going to do a video here for our favorite play of the day, and that comes in the Clipper-Minnesota Timberwolves game. We're going to recommend a full one-unit selection on the LA Clippers, minus the 3 points. If you shop around, you can still find this game sitting at 3 on a few books. It's moved to 3.5 now at a majority of the books, so be sure to shop around. Get that half-point edge. Could be the difference between a winner and a loser. You're definitely going to want that edge in your pocket. So shop around, find the 3. Let's dive right into today's pick. We love this pick. A bunch of reasons why. We'll start with the Clippers' away record of 18-15, above 500 on the road, versus Minnesota club 15-18 at home, below 500. Definitely a team struggling to get it done on their home floor with any sort of consistency. We're going to look for more of that tonight. Down to the recent meetings. These teams have played twice already this year. The last meeting coming on the 19th of January. Minnesota actually winning 104-101 in LA. We watched this game. I had a bet on it. I vividly remember it. The Clippers played this game without Chris Paul, without Blake Griffin, and were up double digits for about the first 3 quarters. Minnesota clawed back in the fourth, and their star power kind of got it done for them down the stretch. I believe Karl-Anthony Towns had 37 points in that game. Wiggins also had a big night. And as we said, no Chris Paul, no Blake Griffin for the Clippers, and they were very much in that game. Probably should have won it. We're going to expect tonight's affair to be much more like their first meeting of the year, where the Clippers came into Minnesota, won 119-105. The reason we think this game should be much more of a marker for tonight's game, all of the major players played in this game. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin for the Clippers, Karl-Anthony Towns and Wiggins in for Minnesota, all of the key players, and Clippers getting it done by 14 on the road. We're going to expect tonight's matchup to be much more like that game tonight. Getting down to the Clippers' recent form, definitely a team that was struggling here to work their 2 All-Stars back into the lineup. But just looking at their last 2 games here, they seem to have got it figured out. They seem to be rolling. They've got wins here at Chicago by 10, and then at home against Boston by 14. So coming off 2 double-digit wins against 2 teams that, if the season ends today, would be in the playoffs. They're coming into to face a Minnesota team tonight that's definitely not going to be in this year's playoffs, so possibly a step down in competition. We'll get to that Minnesota team right now. Actually, a team that's playing some quality basketball of late. They've got some good W's of late, but a few reasons why we feel we can step in front of them tonight. This is their first home game after a 9-day road trip here, and they played some quality opponents. I mean, Houston, Utah, San Antonio, all tough teams, and they enjoyed quite a bit of success on that road trip, winning two of the 4 games against that stiff competition, and then they come home tonight with a few days rest. Could be a letdown spot, and we're going to look for that rest to actually work against them. We'll get to that here in just a second, but we'll get to the referees here for tonight's affair. We've got Tony Brown, Monty McCutcheon, and Brent Nansel. Not my favorite officials in the world, but not a terrible crew. So right here in the day's rest, definitely a few things we'd like to highlight. The Clippers here on the 1 day's rest, 25-12, a super solid record. They scored just about 109 points and gave up just about 104, 5-point margin of victory. If they can do that tonight, that'll be much more than enough to get a point spread cover. But the thing we really like to highlight here is Minnesota's record on 2 or more days rest. Just 2-6 off 2 days rest and 1-2 when given the 3rd day's rest. That's add that up. That's only 3-8 off the extra rest. That's actually a worse winning percentage than if you couple their 1 day and no days rest. So definitely a team that it seems to squander that extra rest. Definitely doesn't help them. Probably just because it's a very young team. They rely very heavily on their talent to get it done night in and night out. Just the tactics and rest and the practice just doesn't seem to help them too much. So we're going to look for that to affect them negatively. Down to the injury report. No key rotation players for the Clippers missing tonight. And Minnesota still without Zach LaVine and Adrian Payne. They've actually seemed to figure things out there without LaVine, but I'm not buying that they're a better team without him. Eventually, that is going to start hurting this team, and we're going to look for that to start tonight. We'll jump right into the summary here. We've touched on most of these things, so we'll breeze right through it. Clippers road record at 18-15, better than the Wolves' home record of 15-18. Clippers have won 16 of the last 18 meetings between these teams and 9 straight in Minnesota. That is straight dominance. The reason we think that could carry forward tonight, the Clippers have basically had the same 5 or 6 key rotation players for the last 3 or 4 years. And those players do not seem to mind going to Minnesota or facing this Timberwolves team. So we're going to look for more of that tonight. And the third point here, Minnesota on 2 or more days rest this season, only 3 and 8. Definitely seem to squander that extra day's rest. Definitely does not seem to benefit them in any way, shape, or form. And the Clippers coming off that 1 day's rest, 25-12. Super solid record. Definitely a huge discrepancy in winning percentage there in those two records. Minnesota here with their 7th consecutive court change. Been in and out of cities, have not been in the same city for more than 2 days, for over a week. And now flying home after this long road trip here, this 9-day road trip. Might just be a little happy to be home. Kind of feels like could be a letdown spot for this Timberwolves team. We're definitely going to look for that tonight. The Clippers here coming off 2 straight wins by double digits against playoff teams. They seem to have their all-stars worked back into the rotation. They seem to be just kind of getting geared up for this playoff run, the stretch run down the stretch here. And, we're going to look for them to just sail tonight. And then if that wasn't enough here, we've got Clippers edges in offense, defense, field goal percentage, points per shot, and turnover percentage. As we can see here in the stat graphic, that's a 1.5 point edge in offense, a 2-point edge in defense, quite a discrepancy in field goal percentage, full decimal point difference in points per shot. That's 10 points in 100 possessions. Minnesota with a slight rebounding edge, and then the Clippers with that turnover edge. Definitely look for Chris Paul to enjoy quite an advantage in the point guard matchup tonight, going against Ricky Rubio. In my opinion, one of the worst starting point guards in basketball right now. And yeah, this just looks like a Clippers team that's ready to roll, coming off 2 straight double-digit victories. We're going to look for that to continue throughout the rest of the season. And this Minnesota team playing good basketball of late, but definitely looks like they're in a tough spot here tonight and playing a far superior team. Feels like enough reasons to pull the trigger. We're going to do it. Put it on the board. LA Clippers minus the 3 points. It's going to be a Bet Edge Wednesday winner. Do not miss out. So good luck on all your bets tonight, guys. We hope this helps. Thank you for tuning in. As always, good night and good luck.